over 3 million people have been diagnosed with ADD or ADHD.
There are a few things you should know about ADD and ADHD.
This video was made to bring awareness to ADD and ADHD.
Kaylin, and how old are you?
I'm 17.
I'm Chloe Fleischer, and I'm 17 years old.
Trevor Jones.
Alright, and how old are you?
25.
When were you diagnosed with ADD or ADHD?
I was diagnosed with ADD last year, at the beginning of my junior year. I was put on medication when I was 16. Yeah.
Officially about 10 years ago.
Okay. When did you start taking medication for ADD?
About 2 years ago.
You prescribed medication for your ADD?
Yes, they put me on Adderall.
And have you tried any other types of medications since you've been diagnosed?
Yes. Well, they have me on Adderall XR for a little bit, which is like releases it in the morning and then releases a little throughout the day, but it kept me up at night and it made me like angry and like I just got frustrated easily. It was just one of the side effects of it, so I stopped taking it and got put back on the Adderall.
Just a generic Adderall.
Just Adderall?
Just Adderall.
Have you taken other medications before you started Adderall?
Not for the ADD, no.
No.
I've been on 2 medications, different doses, different things, see which one works, and we're still kind of like fiddling around with it. Been to therapy once, and I'm supposed to go again, but I don't know when. Pretty much, yeah.
So take me through a class where you wouldn't be on your medication. What is that like?
I'm all over the place. I'm like the squirrel. Like I'm just thinking about what I ate the day before, my future, my past, little things that pop up. I barely absorb a word that the teacher says. Mostly, I can't stay focused. I can't think. Like I don't pick up on things. I'm just kind of like a beam of everything. I don't know, everything. I'm just everything's something about it. When did you officially start taking the medication?
It was about 2 years ago. I was taking, it was a calculus class, and I was struggling with it pretty hard in the beginning, so that's when I talked to my doctor about getting put on the meds. I ended up doing pretty well in that class, despite what I would have thought I could have done. And then I mainly would only take it for math-related classes. Some of the others, I didn't feel like I needed it.
Basically, my eyes are just like this the whole time. I'm like talking to a friend or on my phone or like doing other homework or just thinking about other stuff. Like sometimes I'll like sort of wake up from a trance. I'm like, oh, I've been daydreaming for like the past 10 minutes. Wow, okay. Should probably, oh, I missed the whole thing. I don't know what I'm doing. Homework's gonna suck. Like,
when I'm not on it, I can't think. My head's cloudy. I get frustrated and I'm giggly, which isn't a bad thing, but I'm giggly and it's just everything. I can't think to the best of my abilities and I can't work to the best of my abilities when I'm not medicated.
It definitely helped in math classes. Anything that had a lot of deep, like sequential understanding requirements. You know, you need to understand these little pieces to be able to put them all together to do this one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that was a lot easier to understand and excel at because you're able to focus on each part individually rather than trying to just jump straight up into that big piece.
like you look down for like 2 seconds to write something and you look up and you already missed like an entire thing. But like with ADD it's so much worse because like you're paying attention, but literally nothing's coming in at all. You're trying to just like stare at the board and what he's doing, but nothing's making sense at all. And so you go an entire section, you get to the test and you're like, I understand half of this, and you fail.
I'm all over the house. I'm not like it's ADHD, but like I think of something else I could do, and I just go and do that, and then I get halfway through that, or just barely start that, and then I think of something else to do, and I'm just back and forth, and I'm giggly, and I'm loud, really loud.
Can you see a difference in your behavior and thought process when you are on your medication?
Oh yeah. When I'm on it, everything's clear. I can think, I can organize, I can make a goal and reach it. Like, if there's a possibility, like I can do it. I feel like I can do anything when I'm on it.
I'm able to like look in the teacher's eyes or something, like I can understand what they're saying, and everything that they're saying is being processed, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I understand. Or like I can actually like write whatever they want me to write, and not like put my pencil down and just go like around the room and think about tomorrow or think about after school, and my eyes are just like fixed.
Doing laundry. I used to really hate doing laundry. I still hate doing laundry. I think everyone does. But like doing my laundry that day, like washing it and everything, and then having it in the basket instead of having it sit there for 2 or 3 weeks, because that's kind of how I used to do it. I'll fold it and I'll get it all done. Like it's not even a question to just, should I do it next week? No, like I just do it done. I get it done. Even though I don't want to, I still it's a habit. Yeah.
Do you feel like you've been labeled because you have ADD?
Yes. Yeah, by teachers and by, I guess you could say family members as well. I'm looked at as a special needs sometimes by some people, and I know that I don't look like I'm special needs, but not as in, you know what I'm talking about, special ed. Is that what I already said? I don't know, I can't remember. But I'm not physically incapable of doing something. I'm not mentally incapable of doing something to an extent with the ADD. Like, I'm everywhere, but it's not. I'm not handicapped. Basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Not really. I can't understand what's going on in class, and so I'm always like, so stupid. Why aren't I in like a lower class? And then my friends have been pretty good about being like, you're not different. You're just the same. So not really.
Do you feel like you can focus on certain subjects without the medication just because it keeps your interest, or?
Yes, stuff that you like to do is easy to think about. It's the necessary evils in life that make you feel like you had better take it to excel at it to the level you need, especially for school.
Running. I can focus on that, or I can focus on doing internet things. No, that's not focusing. I don't know. I can focus. What can I focus on? I can focus on literally nothing, actually.
Do you think that ADD and ADHD are overdiagnosed in our community?
Yes, to an extent. They say the best time to diagnose a kid with ADD is 7 years old? 7 or 8? I was 8, so I'm pretty sure it was 7, but, let's see. I do. Kids are kids. The 7-year-old could just be bouncing off the walls because he's a 7-year-old or she's a 7-year-old. They're kids. They have energy to burn off. They don't focus because they want to play with that toy. It's just they're kids, and I think that they get people are overdiagnosed or overlooked because they don't really sit down and be with their kids or be around them enough to really see, can they not really just, accomplish a simple task. It's really simple tasks that, you know, kids with ADD or ADHD have a problem with achieving or, you know, finishing. You know, it's just one of those things that'll just kind of blow off, like, yeah.
I think that people aren't getting diagnosed enough because it's like a weird, like, taboo, like, don't take your kids to psychiatrists, don't get them mentally checked. It's like the fad. Your kid is like, you can't have something wrong with your kid or you're just weird. You're the weird family in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, a lot of my friends definitely have something wrong, like ADD or ADHD, and they don't get diagnosed. And they're kind of just like, they're not reaching their full potential because they aren't on like medication or like getting help. And that's the same like goes with like depression or like anything, but yeah.
Oh, do you think you can manage your ADD without any medication?
Yes and no. If I feel like I am not going to be able to have the focus to maintain through something, I certainly feel like I don't have control of it, though if I force myself to try, I'm usually fine. So indirectly, yeah, I suppose I can manage my ADD without the medication, though it certainly makes everything easier and more enjoyable.
I don't think I'll ever really stop taking the medication. Some people grow out of it. I guess you could say they kind of develop a better studying habit and can, you know, continue doing that without medication. But like my older brother, he has ADD, or he had it, and he grew out of it after high school, and he doesn't need it anymore, and he can do just fine. But I've talked to my doctor, and I've assessed my situation and my level of ADD, and I know that I'll need it probably for the rest of my life when it comes to working or schooling or just kind of functioning, I guess.
I don't know. My brother's had it since like 3rd grade, and he does not seem to be growing out of it. And I was diagnosed when I was way older, and I don't think it's gonna go away. Especially from like how my parents have it. It seems to be pretty hereditary that it's never gonna go away, and I'm just gonna have to suffer for the rest of my life.
Do you think that having ADD kind of, you know, gives you depression? I don't know. Relates to depression?
I personally do take an antidepressant daily. However, I don't think I've ever made any connection between the two of them. Though it's not impossible, I suppose. But with me, I don't feel like I've ever made the link between the two.
What are some
You're
pros
better
and
now
cons to
than you were
taking
a few years ago when you weren't taking any medication at
Yeah.
all, or
So it's been
any other medication
good-
that you've been taking since?
been a good thing for
then?
you?
I think so.
Did you know that
started low
depression,
at first.
that you had depression
It was kinda
because
like
you had ADD?
mood stabilizing.
Or was it
So,
just
like,
kind of a surprise?
depression kind of
Well, I kind of knew
wiggled
I had
away, and
depression
it was like
since I was
happier and like
just like
wasn't sad for no
had a
reason.
rough time,
It was
or
great,
had
but I like
a
still couldn't concentrate
like,
for the life of me,
I
and it
didn't know I
really
had
sucked.
ADD until
And a
like
year
junior
later, I was
year.
like, Mom, Dad, I
So
really,
I never
I still
really
can't
thought
concentrate. And
of
they're
those
like,
two going
oh
together.
yeah, well that wasn't really an ADD thing. It was
Depression
a
being the
mood
root.
stabilizing thing. Here's some Adderall.
I
Like,
know.
we went to the psychiatrist, and I got put on Adderall.
Has your
I
mindset
took 2 of
changed
those and
before you were
Wellbutrin,
diagnosed?
and so
to
then I
after
started
you were
getting really
diagnosed?
depressed but really
Okay,
focused.
Now I know that I
And so
actually have ADD.
Now I'm
and start
taking
thinking
one
a
of
little bit
each, and
differently
it's
about
kind of
things.
more in the middle.
Not so much.
So like it kind of like
One of the reasons
varies
that
pros
I've
and
never
cons.
medicated initially, I would say, was because the doctor that had diagnosed me said that given how long I hadn't been on medication for, at least for me, it would probably bother me to be on the medication. But with work
being
and school
diagnosed,
and everything being so
people look at
hectic,
it as a
it was
disability, which
quite helpful
I
to
don't
be
really
able to
think it's a disability. It's, you know,
focus
okay,
on
I guess,
one
to
thing
an
at a
extent,
time
you know, I
and get
can't
through it.
think without
Certainly
you
feel
know,
like
the crutch of the
a
medication,
little
which
less
if that's all it is, it's just a
medication.
crutch, it just helps
Do you
me
feel
think
like
of
your
this
ADD
and
sets you back and it's a disability?
it's not giving me a new brain, it's
Yeah.
not
I
thinking
like
for me, it's me,
can't
but
learn
me 100%,
or
you know,
like
focus.
I understand.
Have there
what the material
been any
is and,
side effects to
like,
taking the
I can't
medication
read
regarding
books
like
that
health
aren't
or
fun 'cause
any
I,
just like little
words just
problems?
go one ear,
The-
out
the-
the other.
the
Like,
first-
I don't.
First
because
prescription I
it
got
says
was a
read
time
the whole
release
book and
version,
not
and
understand
I
a
had an
single
allergic
word.
reaction to whatever the
read.
time release agent was.
So like,
So I had
when
some
we're watching a
hives
movie or
for
something,
like a month.
it's just
That was
right
about
out the
it.
window.
How do you deal with people that you know
can't
are
think of
have
any.
ADD or ADHD, and like teachers and
There's another
stuff? Should
question
they
I
give
can't
them
remember,
different kinds of attention,
This is like all gonna
or
be
should they treat them just like everybody
Yeah.
else?
I think you should.
What is the other
I
one that I
think a
have?
teacher
Did I ask
should
Chloe?
kind of like
Oh,
not.
did I already ask this? Do
treat
you
them
see a
differently, but
difference?
kind of like be
um,
more one-on-one
in your
with someone,
like
'cause that works.
or hold on.
I like one-on-one teaching better, and I think teachers are a lot of times more like, well, all the kids in the class are the same, so all I have to do is just teach and not have to like, you know, so not differently, but they really shouldn't treat them like they're all the same.
Do you think ADD can be managed or ADHD can be managed without medication?
I do. With certain therapies and with certain without medications, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I a little bit, yeah. I don't think you'll be. I still think that you'll have your little, you know, those moments where you're just kind of like the, you know, you're squirreling. Yeah, you're just squirrel everywhere. You know, you just can't. But if anything, I don't think I could have done it without medication. So. Me personally, I don't think I could do it, but I do believe there are people out there who can manage it with different like levels, or you know, yeah. So, have you ever felt dependent on the medication, like you needed to have it, or no, I don't know if it'd be like an addiction, but have you ever felt like you depended on it?
I don't necessarily feel like I have to have it, like I absolutely need this to do what I'm about to do. But I can certainly see and feel the difference when I'm trying to do something difficult that maybe you don't do all the time or don't understand fully when you do and don't have the medication. So I suppose not a total dependence, but you tend to rely on it for help, at least for me personally.
Anxiety and depression are much more prevalent in those diagnosed.
Those who are diagnosed are 40% more likely to commit suicide than those who are not diagnosed.
They generally have lower grades,
Depression,
Trouble concentrating,
easily distracted,
lack of focus,
anxiety,
fatigue,
and aggression.
lack of motivation.
easily distracted.
If you believe you may have ADD or ADHD, you should talk with a professional about it.